It depends what rule they've transgressed, because ultimately, if someone didn't like someone, then ultimately then the next person would say, I want to call that out for what it was, which was a form, and I use the term very loosely, of assault on the pitch, because I don't want to get into a woke culture of calling things out and exaggerating what they are. But there is a dynamic here where one player has done something to another player. If Pogba was so unenthused by it, why has he talked to the referee about it in the first place? And coming out after the game and suggesting that because they're friends it doesn't matter means that the next person that it happens to of this ilk who decides that they're not friends then has a situation where a precedent has been set. Yeah. If it is indeed a transgression of a rule, then I'm sorry, whether you're the best pals and like you and I, Jim's thick as thieves, you still have to call things out for what they are. I call you out for talking drivel. He should be called out for taking a bite out of someone.
Trevor, I'll let you get your teeth into this in a minute, but as usual, Mr. Crook to my right has got some breaking news on this.
Yeah, interesting. No mention of any punishment for Rüdiger over this incident. I mean, I saw it on television last night. I don't think it's conclusive as to whether he actually chomped down on Paul Pogba. What is interesting, though, is that Paul Pogba went into the stands at full time. He gave his shirt to someone in the crowd. Of course, there was a crowd in Munich last night. And according to our colleagues over at beIN Sports, UEFA are looking into that. And if they deem that he's breached COVID protocols by going into the stand, he could be punished.
Wow. I mean, Trevor, this is ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, how does it come to this on the field of play?
Well, to start with, what a mature Paul Pogba we witnessed in the game. You know, he was tracking back, he was sticking to his job, he worked really hard for the team, he was disciplined. Someone's nibbling on him, he don't want to make a big deal of it. I think that's what we want to see in England and in playing for Manchester United, which we've not seen enough. But going back to it, I don't think it should be Paul Pogba's decision. You know, if he's had a nib, someone's had a nibble at his shoulder, Rüdiger's nibbled on his shoulder, and he's informed the referee, I think that action should be taken, because whether they're friends, whether he wants to play it down, this is a form of intimidation. You know, I look at players, you know, and you talk about players like Craig Dawson at West Ham, or you talk about Martin Keown from my time at Arsenal or England. You don't want to go near them players in training or in games, because they only have one gear. Full blast. And I think Rüdiger's out of the same ilk. And for me, I think that should be punished. It doesn't matter if Paul Pogba doesn't think it was. He complained, and I think once that complaint's been made, the referee has to do something about it. And if not on the pitch, then certainly afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, Pogba Simon's trying to stop it going any further by saying, look, I don't want him to be suspended. Well, I'm sure he doesn't. But, I mean, the authorities have got to look at it. They have to look at it. Well, I think so.
I mean, I don't like lightweight thinking. And we are in a game of physical contact as much as it's been trying to be ironed out. I just want to take a couple of swipes at what Trevor's just said, because Pogba is playing for his country, and there's never been any element of criticism that Pogba turns up playing for France and turns up and fulfills the job that he's supposed to do for his country. It's the translation of that when he's playing for his club that people get issues with. Now, also, the maturity of it is, if the maturity is there, why is he informed the referee in the first place? Because this becomes elevated by the nature of the fact that Pogba has brought it to the referee's attention. Of course, the media would have had it and then done something with it, but you cannot make rules up based upon who you like and who you don't like. Trevor's right. There isn't, and Trevor will know better than me, of course. There's a form of intimidation going on in the middle of a game. Because Pogba can hold himself in that particular company doesn't mean it's right to do. I don't want to get all lightweight and wokey and silly about it, but the fact is the rules are there, and if it is indeed viewed as a transgression, then it has to be sanctioned. Otherwise, you set a precedent which someone else will do, and then he'll get away with this, irrespective of how lightweight we think it is. Someone else will do something more significant, and then they'll cite this example as the reasons why they can't be sanctioned.
Well, Simon, I can only say Pogba should be thankful it was Rüdiger and it wasn't a peckish Chris Iwelumo last night in the Spanish restaurant. I've never before witnessed a restaurant sending out for more
Ronaldinho.
tapas.
Imagine those gnashes on you.
Woo. Oh, yeah, Ronaldinho. He can eat an apple through a tennis racket.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.